Hi, thank you for joining us today for our virtual information session for FIU's 100% online Master of Science in Research Design and Analysis. If you're here today, it's probably because you're thinking about that next step in your career and how to get there. And we hope that with today's session, we're able to share information about our program, what you'll be able to learn in the program, and the resources that you'll have available to you, and help you figure out if maybe this is something you want to continue exploring as you're thinking about your career development. My name is Carla Maria, and we're going to introduce to you a team of people that you're going to be working very closely with. But before we introduce ourselves, I just want you to check out what FIU is all about. So watch this video.
Florida International will be a different university in order that it may be a better university.
So that was a quick intro to FIU, but now let's introduce ourselves. Again, my name's Carla Maria. I am part of the FIU Online department at the university, and I've been a part of FIU Online for over 10 years now. And in my role, I work with persons and professionals just like yourselves, trying to figure out what is next in your career. And I help guide you to figure out which of FIU's online degree programs may be the best fit for you based on your goals. And there is a team of people here I want you to meet, because this will be the first of many interactions, of many conversations with this team if you decide to join this master's program. The first person I want you to meet is Dr. Mito Chang, professor and program director. Dr. Chang, would you say hello to hopefully our future students, and then also share an introduction about yourself?
Okay. Hi, nice to meet you guys. And I hope you can join our program. And I'm Mido Chang, who's been really working here more than 10 years. And I've been teaching quantitative method for, graduate students, including doctoral and master's students. And and ever since 22, we really start this program. I've been working as a director, and then uh in terms of really all scheduling and really, academic issues, I'll be the one who you can touch, reach out to me and then really discuss all the really problems or really, other things like including career plans, other things. Let me know whenever you have a problem or anything.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chang. And we also have with us Dr. Andy Pham, professor for the program. Dr. Pham, would you also say hello to hopefully our future students and share a brief introduction about yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Andy Pham. I'm faculty in the RDA program, but also a program director for our school psychology program in the School of Education and Human Development. I teach one course in the RDA program, and I always enjoy teaching students. And it's a very much a growing program, so I'm very excited to be part of it, and hope you'll join us in our next cohort.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pham. And we also have with us Dr. Tiberio Garcia, assistant professor for the program. I'm sorry, Dr. Garza. I mispronounced your
Guys,
last name. I am so sorry. Dr.
it's all
Garza.
right.
Dr.
Yes, hi
Garza.
everyone. Glad you're here. It's good to see you here. And yeah, so my name is Dr. Tiberio Garza, and before academia, I worked as an evaluator, and so you'll see me in the classes related to evaluation. But I'm a quantitative methodologist, and so you'll see me in classes like within the statistics and statistical programming courses. And so I think I have like two or three, but just depending on whatever the need is. But again, I'm glad to see everyone here. And yeah, and as Dr. Chang said, always reach out to any of us for help during that process.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Garza. And we shared an incy bit about us at FIU, but we'd love to learn about you. And particularly, we would love to learn what is motivating you to want to pursue your master's in research design and analysis. So share with us in the chat, what are your drivers? What is that pushing, what that pushing force behind you wanting to get this master's degree? Please share with us in the chat. We'd love to get to know you a little bit better. And I guess in the meantime, Dr. Chang, share with us some of the reasons you have seen as to why students end up joining the program.
Some of the students join us for really future studies, like really joining, really pursue really doctoral program, but they want to really build up the foundations of research skills and, all different areas. And what many of the students really choose the really career path as a research analysis, data analysis, and then interpret the really result, and then really try to apply their learning to the really practical situation. And those are the really main, the desire for really our students really try to really pursue in our program. That was my experience.
Thank you, Dr. Chang.
Yeah,
And
also
Dr.
just
Garza, what reasons have you heard?
yeah, and also I mean I see some of the reasons in the chat too, just like just intrinsically wanting to just know more, and then it's nice to see that because then it's like then you can apply it to other things. It kind of just changes your worldview too, and just like how you could do different things, have confidence to do different things as well. And so I like the term freedom because it opens up more possibilities and access to either jobs or careers or just my own intrinsic wanting of just to know things. But that's always been a main driver. And then other than career and job, then there's also just um, going into a PhD degree, just continuing towards education more and more.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And I think everyone can identify with the answers that were shared. So thank you, Dr. Chang. Thank you, Dr. Garza. And thank you for each of you who shared in the chat your motivation. Yes, freedom, and then just additional continuing education in data analysis, and then also career growth. So thank you, everybody, for sharing your motivation for being here. And let's talk about FIU, because if you join this program, you will be joining the FIU community. And it's a very large community. Florida International University is the public research university in South Florida. We are part of the Florida State University system, and we offer bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs in many different fields, including education, engineering, medicine, public affairs. I mean, the list is very, very diverse. And some of our biggest pride points include that we are one of the largest public universities in the country based on enrollment class size. So we have about 50,000 students enrolled across all of our online and on-campus programs. And we've graduated over 316 alumni who are currently all around the world. We're also the #1 university in the country to award bachelor's and master's degrees to Hispanic students. And from the very beginning that FIU opened our doors, we have always catered to students managing many different things in their lives. And it's been extremely important for us as an institution that our programs are flexible enough so that you can actually complete them with everything that may be going on in your life. And we've been offering our students online education and online options for over 25 years now. And today we offer over 120 programs that you can complete from wherever it is you're located, and you can complete at whatever time range, at whatever time it's best for you to actually complete your coursework. So 120 programs that are 100% online. And this master's degree, our Master of Science in Research, Design, and Analysis, is 100% online. It consists of 10 courses, or the equivalent of 30 credits. And these 10 courses, you complete them over a 12-month period. So it's 12 months that you'll be completing 10 courses. And we'll talk about the courses in more detail, but basically the courses are blended between mini terms and full terms. So some courses will be, you'll take them in a shorter time slot, and some courses you'll take them in a longer time slot. And that will just allow you to complete the courses in a way that will make it feel like you're moving through the program faster. And the tuition for all of those 10 courses throughout that 12-month duration is $17,700 for all of the 10 courses. Now, a thing about this program is that it does have a cohort structure. And what that means is that the same group of classmates that you begin with are the same group of classmates that you're going to be completing your courses with, and the same group of classmates that you will be graduating with. And what that gives you is really a unique opportunity to build close relationships with your classmates. And hopefully your classmates will be part of your network, part of your contact list for your entire career. And that's one of the benefits of the program. We're currently recruiting for our next incoming class, which is in January 2026. The application deadline is October 1st, 2025. So if you think this is a program for you, 2026 will be your year. You would begin in January, and then you would complete it in December. You start January 2026 and end in December 2026. And the courses really are designed to provide you with strong research methods. We'll talk about the details of the courses in just a bit. And there is also hands-on research experience through a practicum. And then also, one of the really value-added experiences is that you do have individual mentoring from your professors. It's really just to ensure that your career and your educational goals are met. So that is one of the things that we like to talk about. You do build relationships with your professor, and you are able to have that mentoring experience from your professors. So if you're here today, I'm super curious to see like what your backgrounds are from, but I have a question for the group, and this may shed light as far as your background. But the question to the group is how organizations today can benefit from employing a research methodologist. So we'd love to hear from you. Share in the chat how you think research methodologists, research specialists, data specialists are of value in organizations today. We'd love to hear from you. Share in the chat. And in the meantime, I guess to our group of professors and faculty here today, please, share your insight. How do research methodologists add value to organizations today?
Yeah, I would just start off by just saying that these methodologies, they just kind of help give credit and trustworthiness to figuring out like where are we going in our business vision or mission. And so it kind of just gives the idea of like, are we on track? At what point are we deviating from what we wanted to do, whether it's increase sales or increase capacities or innovate and generate new research and knowledge. And so you really need someone like a research methodologist to kind of evaluate and determine the progress of a company. And so many companies need someone like this. And so there's many terms: research methodologist, social scientist, analyst. I think there's some more creative names for that type of work as well. But it's really just being able to forecast and see what's possible with the resources a company has, whether it's a school, whether nonprofit, civic, whatever it is, whatever that entity is. And so leadership will always see a benefit in just being able to know where can we get to related to our goals and outcomes.
Can add more comments and uh, this RDA, the program really designed really from the starting design, research design, and then to really complete with the interpretation of the real findings. So we really provide the information where to start and how you start for the when you start the really project. So most people do not know, how to just really they try to really jump into really collecting data, and then they just ending up really having all kinds of really findings, but they don't know how to really, really make a really good reports. So it is from the beginning to the end, we have to really complete set of really skill set we will provide to the students. So they learn to really all the really advanced skills. And then they're gonna provide those all the informations to the really company, and then they're gonna have really all well organized and really and provide really practical information later on.
Thank you, Dr. Garza, and thank you, Dr. Chang. And I see one of the answers in the chat is actually from a teacher, from an educator, and they're sharing that it helps them that they it that it's helpful to know where to focus efforts as far as teaching standards and based on the student population that they're engaging with. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that research specialists, research methodologists can be of value and help today's organizations. So thank you for sharing. Thank you. Now let's talk about the courses of the program. So here are the series of courses that you would be completing in the program. And let's share a brief overview of these courses so that you get to understand what each course is about and a little bit about what you'll be learning. So I guess to our group of professors, would you like to, I guess, start off and share the courses that you teach?
Yeah, we'll offer really very beginning course. We call it really Introduction to Education Research. In really first course, we will really targeting for the students who do not have any knowledge about the research. So we'll provide really all overview of the research and then how they really conceptualize their own research. So here it's like a research design, including qualitative research and quantitative research, and the little bit of overview, all the really detailed information really through the all, advanced research methodology. And then it's going to be offered at the very beginning, spring A. And then another course, really spring A, it will be mostly it's covered by Dr. Q, and he'll be joining us really a little bit later. But research method in education, it's cover really basic foundational knowledge of quantitative research methodology. But we try to really expand a little more advanced way because we realize our students are really excellent in grasping all the concepts and everything. So we are revising and improving, adding more, the foundational basic stuffs over there. And then after that, yeah, Dr. Garza will take over, spring B evaluation. Right.
Right. Then it's spring B with program evaluation, education. And although you see education almost in every line, I also want people to just know like what you learned here is also applicable to other disciplines. Because sometimes we have students or people asking questions, can I still do this type of methodology or statistics in criminal justice or in health? And the answer is yes. So it's just we do focus on education, but through that, just know like the things you would learn are transferable to other disciplines and areas. But yes, you'll see me in Spring B with program evaluation, and my focus there is to help people just kind of see the practice of being an evaluator, evaluating programs for their effectiveness or efficiency, or just knowing like being able to tell people what works and what's not working. And so my hope is always that after you finish that class, you feel a little confident to be able to do consulting work as an evaluator, looking over programs and knowing what to do and how to engage the client, so to speak. But after that, at the same time during Spring B, is the beginning of our research practicum. And so within this practicum, we start to build academic skills and related to just conducting research just means knowing the ethical principles of how to conduct research and work with human subjects, and then also the academic writing aspect, knowing how to kind of work within our writing format, which is APA format, and then just how to explain, interpret, and investigate your own research topics. But our faculty pair up with you, helping you through that process. And so it's a long process. So we like to get it started in the beginning, but you'll see it in semester 2 and semester 3 because we want to build up your academic skills across this 1 year time span. And then that brings us to semester 2.
Yeah,
Right? And so I think Dr. Q teaches that, but I can just say a few words. Sometimes
yes.
I think I teach this too. And so this is just part 2 of the event of analysis and educational research. It's part 2 of that first one in Spring A. And don't get alarmed by the word advanced. It just means part 2. And so we're just trying to continue to expand your statistical knowledge from part 1 to part 2. And that just means taking you from that beginning to intermediate statistics to more intermediate and starting to get into some slight advanced statistics. But in that summer A, semester 2, that's what we're trying to do, build off your prior knowledge. And then you'll definitely see me in the next class, which is summer A, Introduction to Statistical Software in Education, EDF 6414. That one, now that you've taken 2 statistics courses, now we want to expand your programming ability in different softwares. And so this is also my chance to reinforce your knowledge on the 2 statistics courses you are taking or have taken, but now we're adding programming languages and that. So we just want you to be versatile in different languages and not stuck in one language. If you choose to stay in one language, that's fine, but we want to at least build your ability to work in other languages, or at least see statistics in other statistical programming languages. And then after that, the next part of summer, you get to the application of statistical model in education, I think with
Yeah.
Dr. Chang.
Yeah, for this course, you will learn really, advanced courses like structural equation modeling, and then we try to really add more advanced methods like hierarchical linear modeling and survival analysis if possible, and then the logistic regression. That's really advanced one, but we will provide information using application tool, so you can do really hands-on activities through the course. But this is going to be a really advanced method for even for really doctoral students really to have a really difficulty really grappling with it. But we will really try, we will really challenge to really help the really students to really get the real advanced ones. And then research practicum in education in summer B, and we are still continue to really work on the project and then learn about the secondary data and then really collecting empirical data also. And then we will, in the really new year, we try to really plan to really work with the students how to really do the job hunting and provide a list of the really, industries they can really explore and then try to really make a really good networking. We will plan to work on that part too, even in the practicum. And semester 3, measurement evaluation in education, which Dr. Q will cover. But and I believe I'm just interpreting. I believe he's covering with really instrument development and also measurement with the really tools like reliability and validity. And these days, really item response theory, which is a really good advanced method, really analyze with all the items. And then probably he will try to really adopt, will really apply those really advanced skills in the course. And next course is Dr. Bam, right? Oh,
Well,
I'm
I
sorry. I'm
covered. No,
sorry.
it's
I missed
okay.
out.
No, no worries. I didn't want to interrupt you, but that sounds really exciting for my course. But so I teach the measurement evaluation education, although I think a lot of what Dr. Cheng says I think could be relevant for that. But does cover testing, measurement, evaluation. Originally, it was supposed to be offered as the first semester, but since it's in semester 3, it'll be more applied. So using a lot of what you've learned from your previous courses, but also within whether school, educational, or applied settings, covering additional topics, even related to ethics, covering as well as data collection, analyzing data, interpreting, and also how to disseminate findings that's meaningful for an audience. We'll also cover other issues related to test bias as well as measurement error. But yeah, for the most part, how do we use data to make decisions? I think that's the ultimate goal for that course.
Yeah, let's move on to research practicum in education, Dr. Garza, right?
So then your practicum kind of comes to a culmination here where at this point, having seen evaluation methodologies, research methodologies, analytical and statistical techniques, as well as statistical programming, at this point in semester 3, and also right, you'll be guided between semester 2 and semester 1, but research practicum is a long series of process. But at this point, it's bringing everything together to create your own research project. To that way, we can at least mentor you and help you through this process as you're actually doing your own research, because we want you to be independent researchers, being able to do these things on your own, incorporating measurement, again, evaluation, analysis, whether data analytic or statistical, and then being able to inform others of what you found and being able to interpret results. And so at the end, that's a culminating experience of just everything you've learned, being able to showcase all your knowledge and skills. And so we really get happy at that point.
And we've got some great questions in the chat related to the courses. I don't know if we want to expand on them now or maybe later towards the end.
We can mention some of it. Yeah, like so for programming, we will focus on R, and there's another software called JASP. SPSS, you'll start with SPSS, but in programming, we'll move away from SPSS and start introducing Python. And qualitatively, just in the form of text analysis, but visualization, only within that software. We do tend to focus more on statistical analysis or analysis in general. And so we don't get into Tableau or Power BI, but more on the statistical results.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we covered all the courses, right? Or did we miss any?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did. We covered them.
All right. Well, I hope that was helpful, in learning about the courses of the program and a little bit more details as to what you can expect to learn and what the experience is going to be like in each of the courses. Thank you. Thank you, Mila, for sharing your questions. Keep them coming, right? If you have more questions, please share because we'd love to talk about those questions that may be top of mind for you right now. And we also have a very special speaker today. We have Andrea Matamoros, who recently graduated in the program. Andrea graduated from the program, and Andrea is also a program manager at FIU. Andrea, thank you so much for being here today and being able to connect with
Thank you for
our
having me.
future students. Thank you. And it's always so helpful for future students considering the program to really hear from students who have completed the program. So I guess, Andrea, talk to us about what you liked most about the program and why, and then also share with us how the program has helped you fulfill yourself professionally and personally.
Yeah, sure. So, I can talk a little bit about how I guess my favorite things were the things I was scared of when I first saw the first info session I attended, because like I saw, all right, a master's, 10 courses in 1 year. It's cohort based, the small semesters. I'm like, I really like the information and I was freaking out a little bit, but I'm like, I'm going for it. And that ended up like what I was most nervous about ended up being probably my favorite part because being in a cohort and classes being, I guess, like so condensed, um, it helped me a lot to feel like I know things. And I know things fast rather than like a 16-week class where things are a little more slow paced. And having that cohort base too, it was easier to, like we have all those introduction discussion boards that I'm like, I can email people. And so it was very nice. Also, I was um, scared that it was a fully online program, right? I had been out of school for a long time and I'm like usually in class learner, but all the faculty provided great resources, great organization with a fully online program. So that was also very important to me that like I ended up loving it. I never knew I was going to become an online learner.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. That's so neat to hear that you really okay, that you were scared of like the courses being like all, grouped together and chunked and fast paced. But then that's so neat that what you got out of it was actually you feeling like, hey, I'm learning. And so, I mean, so when you say that you like, that you were learning and that you were learning lots of, new information, I guess does that like were you able to like quickly like apply it in like your
Yes, actually,
job?
yeah. Going back to, I guess, the second question, right? How did it fulfill me professionally? So I am a program manager now at a College of Medicine for a graduate certificate program. And I was promoted once I got this master's to a manager before I was a senior program coordinator. Thank you. And we do lots of educational research. We are a fairly small certificate program, also cohort based. And we try to, sort of go through the, quality control improvement cycle. So a lot of the measurement and assessment things that I was learning helped a lot because the faculty, their PhDs in like STEM classes, like, biology, biomedical sciences. And when we'd be getting together in our meetings, they're like, all right, we want to do this, or we want to know this information. But something I learned in this program is that, like wanting something doesn't mean you know how to set up the questions or the surveys specifically for the information you want to get at the end. So it was very cool that like the minute I'd finish a class, I'm like, but wait a minute, I just learned this. We should try this instead. So it's really nice.
That's so great. I'm so glad that you had that experience. So thank you. Thank you, Andrea. That's
Yeah.
so nice to hear. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
And let's talk about challenges because, Andrea, you just spoke about how one of your biggest fears was like how, what was it going to be like in this fast-paced program with the courses. And I always like to talk about challenges because I feel like this is a big step joining a master's program. And hopefully, if you're here today, hopefully you're doing it um, because you're thinking about what is next in your career and whether this master's program can help you get there. And there's so many other factors that go into joining a degree program and into kind of like laying out a path for yourself, a professional path for yourself. And let's talk about these challenges because they are part of your experience from now all the way through the time you are a student and the time you graduate. So some of the challenges that many students share are related to being able to manage time, being able to manage finances, having a support system for yourself, and meeting requirements for the admissions, and being able to complete the application requirements. And I just want to say that um, when it comes to all of these factors, we are here for you, really as a university, and the professors are here for you. So I guess would any professors like to maybe share any insight on some of these really big challenges that our students face as far as like when they're considering joining the program and throughout? Any words of guidance there?
I can add in something really
Yeah.
quick. For the, at least for the completing application requirements and the requirements for admissions, I remember during my info session, it was fairly stressed that like, no matter, because I had been out of school for so long, like almost 10, 12 years, um, it was just get the application in. And then and then you can ask questions from, Dr. Chang or any other faculty, but getting that application in is really helpful, as early as you can.
Yes, I want to share the same thing because people are really afraid of really writing a statement, but we are not asking too many things, too big things. Just really talk about your really short background information or why you're interested in this program and what is the future goal. Just to make it really short, the statement. And then if you're not really sure about, you have really lack of confidence in what you wrote, you can send it to me. I can really read it through and I can really say it's good enough, or you can add some more, information like that. So don't worry about it. Don't hesitate it. Just really fill it in. Fill in the really application, like and Andrea really suggested.
Yeah, and I think for time and support system, um, so do know like all our courses go through quality matters, and so there are instructional designers that help us to make things more organized, make sense directly to save time, and also to keep our courses interactive. And so, but in that process, I feel like it saves students time because things are more direct, more, you don't bumble around, so to speak, confused how to understand the course. And so, but at the same time, that helps the support. But then at the same time, since we have a cohort model, then there's a support system. But we always encourage everyone to reach out to whoever is teaching the class. And um, we're all encouraging, we work together. And so it's like we're not here to um, cause barriers or issues like that. We're just trying to encourage people, and we know a little encouragement goes a long way. So, so we try to add that in while we're going through our courses.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that insight. I hope that was helpful, if you're thinking about some of these challenges and how you would tackle them. And one of the challenges is finances. And one of the ways that we want to help support with that is through a limited number of scholarships that are available, which we encourage you to apply to. So through the FIU Online department, there are 3 different unique scholarship opportunities that you may wish to apply to. The first one is our Corporate and Community Scholarship. This is a $2,000 award, and it's awarded to a select number of either employees or members of organizations making an impact in a community or in an industry. So if you are an employee for a company, or if you are part of a community group or an industry association, and that organization is having an impact in a community or in an industry, we would love it if you applied to that scholarship. And then there's also the Academic Merit Scholarship. This is also a $2,000 award, and it's awarded to a select number of students with the highest GPA, particularly the GPA from your upper division coursework of your bachelor's degree. This is a very competitive GPA. It only goes to the highest students with the highest GPA. And then we also have our Get Started Scholarship. This is a $1,000 award, also for a limited number of students who are facing a hardship. If you are facing some sort of hardship, we would love it if you applied to this scholarship. And again, these scholarships are not guaranteed to every single student who applies. So we do encourage you to start applying early to make sure that you're able to also apply to these scholarships. And I have to share that because the scholarships are not guaranteed, many times students are discouraged from applying to them. And really, over the past 3 years, we have awarded over $200,000 in scholarships to over 100 students. And the next student to be awarded a scholarship may very well be you. So we encourage you to apply to these. And the process to apply to these scholarships is to first apply into the master's program. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit, how to do that. But first, apply into the master's program. Once you apply into the master's program, you will have an FIU student ID and user profile created. And with that user profile, you're able to apply at that website that is shared here, fiu.academicworks.com. That is FIU's scholarship portal. And on that portal, you would use your FIU credentials to apply for these 3 scholarships. A thing about this portal is that it also has many other scholarships available at FIU. So I encourage you to just look at all of those listings, see which ones you qualify for, and apply to them. Because again, these are resources that are here for you, and they may be able to help. And then the program also allows you to apply for federal financial aid. You can do that through the studentaid.gov website or the My Student Aid mobile app. This is what some of you may know as the FAFSA. And you will need FIU's federal school code for this, which is 009635. Our program takes place over the course of 2 academic years. So you would technically need to apply for your federal financial aid using your 2023 tax returns for the 2025 to 2026 academic year FAFSA. And then you would need your 2024 tax returns for the 2026 to 2027 FAFSA. So just things to keep in mind and resources that are available to you. Now, let's talk about admissions and application into the program. There's a series of steps that must be completed and some requirements, and this is where we can start thinking about whether this is something that you see yourself doing. And well, the first step to submit an application is to submit it at go.fiu.edu/apply. So that will take you to FIU's graduate school admissions application portal. There you will have to create a user profile. and you will be asked a series of questions about yourself and the former institutions you attended. And this is the step that must be done by October 1st, 2025. So there's still plenty of time to submit your application. But as Andrea mentioned earlier, and as Dr. Chang encouraged you to do earlier as well, we really do share with our students, with our prospective students, to just get your application in earlier, because the sooner you get your application in, the faster that we can begin working with you throughout the application process. So after you submit your application at go.fiu.edu/apply, you then need to submit a series of documents. And these are the documents that you would submit after completing your application. And these are the documents that will be able to help you with throughout that application process. And that's why we always like to share, hey, send your application in early, like complete your application in early, so that we can support you with all these documents, because there will be questions as you're gathering these documents. You'll have questions, they'll come up, and then you can just like quickly email us or give us a call, and we can guide you on these. So the first document are your official transcripts from all of the former institutions, colleges, universities that you attended. The second document that is needed is a proof of degree and a notarized copy of your original diploma if your degree is not posted on the official transcript. Now, if your degree was completed outside of the United States, there will also be a course-by-course evaluation and diploma certification from a NACCES member. If that is not in English, then we'll also need a translation of those documents. You can find a NACCES member on the NACCES website, www.naces.org. And then we'll also need 2 letters of recommendation and a 1-page autobiographical statement. And again, if your transcripts are not in English, we just need those translated. These are the documents. This seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but these are the documents that we can help guide you on as far as like, who to get your recommendation letters from, how to write your statement. If you have any questions about maybe like finding a NACCES member, these are the documents where as you gather these, questions will come up. But if you submit your application at go.fiu.edu/apply, we already know of your interest, and you can just email us, you can reach out to us, you can contact us as you're doing each of these, and we can make the process easier for you. Now, as far as actual requirements, like things you need, in addition to documents and actually submitting an application, but things that you need from your background to be admissible, is you do need a 4-year bachelor's degree with a minimum 3.0 GPA in the last 60 hours. And the way that we calculate that, the last 60 hours or your upper division coursework, there's a whole process for that. So if you look at any of your transcripts from your former institutions, they may have like multiple GPAs on them. So if you think you're, if you're unsure whether you meet that 3.0 GPA, just reach out to us. And again, you can just submit your application, and we then go through the process of evaluating your GPA. And it may be that you do meet that 3.0 GPA requirement, because there are different ways of calculating the GPA, and our admissions office does a great job at that. And then the other thing is that if your bachelor's degree was completed in a country where English is not an official language, you will also need an English proficiency exam. There's various options, everything from the TOEFL to the IELTS to Duolingo. These are all the things that you may have questions on as you're thinking about your application. And one of the other things I want to say is that normally there is an admissions application fee of $30 for you to submit your application at the graduate school at FIU, but we don't want you to have to worry about that $30 fee, and we will actually cover that fee for you. However, there's a few things we need you to do. The first is to go ahead and submit your application at go.fiu.edu/apply. And basically here, this is that questionnaire where you're going to answer questions about yourself and the former colleges, universities, and institutions that you attended. And then towards the very end of this questionnaire, that is where you're going to get a question asking you how you wish to pay for the application fee. So what we ask is that for that question, you select the pay by check option. And then afterwards, you submit your application. Once you submit your application, you're going to get an email, and that email will have your application number and your Panther ID. So what we ask is that you email us and let us know you submitted your application, share with us your application number and your Panther ID. And then what we'll do is that on the back end, we will look you up and we'll cover that fee for you. So again, this process of submitting your application takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And then all of these documents are things that you would submit afterwards. So just something to keep in mind, that the actual submitting of your application takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we know that you're interested, and then we know that you really want to get into the program, and then we start working together as you come up with questions or you have doubts that arise about your documents, which you submit afterwards. Okay, so let's open it up to questions. I know we've already answered some questions in the chat, and I see some questions have come in, new questions have come in already. Let's open it up to questions, because that's what this time and space is for us to answer your questions. Feel free to continue sharing your questions in the chat, or feel free to open up your video and your microphone and you can share your question then. Let's see what questions have been shared.
Patricia had asked about receiving a bachelor's degree in Puerto Rico from an accredited university. Would they have to follow steps of an international? I believe Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, so I don't believe it's international, but I could, unless FIU does something different. Is that the case?
I believe I think it depends on the language. So I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. Puerto Rico is one of those that I'm not sure.
Hi, that's why I was asking because since I speak English, I'm an ESOL teacher, and half of my degree was all my courses were in English, except like the basic courses, which are obviously taught in Spanish because the majority of the island, everyone else speaks Spanish. But because my bachelor's in English as a second language, obviously all my courses were like core classes were in English. And it is accredited by a university, like universities here in the US. And because we are a territory, a commonwealth of the United States, it falls under gray area for certain things. And then for other things, it's kind of like treated internationally. So that's why I'm asking, like, where would that fall under? Because every place is different. Everyone follows different rules.
Yeah, great question, Patricia, and thanks for sharing that, because there may be other people on from the same background. I don't want to say yes or no because I don't want to give you the wrong answer, Patricia. However, I'm noting this question, and I'm going to share it with Nivea Woodard, who will be able to get back to you as far as having your university being in Puerto Rico, and some of the courses in Spanish, some of them in English, and we'll get back to you because I don't want to give you the wrong information.
Thank you for that. I was on your meeting the other day for the, oh my gosh, what was it? curriculum.
Yeah.
And that one, I was interested between both of them. I'm stuck between both of them. And so I didn't ask the questions then because I just wanted to observe. And since I was going to be on this one today, I was like, I'll save my questions for today. And that one, I've had obviously had that question since the other day that you guys did the Zoom meeting. So I just wanted to ask today just because, I wanted to take the opportunity to clarify because, like I said, it's always a gray area with Puerto Rico. With certain things, it qualifies as a US. And then for other things, it's like, no, it's technically international. So that's why I asked the question and just wanted to get clarification. When I got my I'm a teacher here in Florida. I got my certification. I didn't have any issues because it's an accredited university by the US. So like I said, for some things it doesn't count, for others it's international, and I just wanted to clarify that question. So so thank you if I could get, and if you guys have any more information on that and be able to like forward that to me, that would be awesome. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I'm making note and we'll get back to you on that, Patricia. And you know, I also want to share that it like many times, especially for educators, it's hard to choose a program because sometimes you as you mentioned, you're interested in more than one. And what I encourage you to do is like uh, just like connect with maybe each of the programs directors that you're interested in, and then just like schedule a conversation with them because they can help you figure out maybe which program is a better fit for you. And again, it's very common from educators to be like, hey, well, which program is best, and at the end of the day, we can only guide you, but that, you're the one who has to figure that one out.
No, totally agree. I after oh my gosh, I these days listen, especially being a full moon week, the kids have been a little rowdy, so I don't even know what days I'm living. I just know tomorrow is Friday. And
Yes,
we have a
yes.
3-day weekend. And I know the day that you guys had that meeting, I was like, for sure, I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. And then today I was listening to you guys and you said certain things that like really caught my attention. And I was thinking of ways that I could apply it into the classroom. And I was like, oh wait, now I'm even more confused. So definitely thank you for that advice. I'm definitely gonna take you up on that offer
Yeah,
and
no,
definitely reach out more and find
yeah,
out
I
more.
encourage you to do that because it's just helpful, to kind of get insight from different folks in the field um and we understand your situation.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's see if anybody else has any other questions. Well, it looks like there's no more questions, but I suspect you may have questions later. So here's our contact information. We'll also be reaching out to everybody who joined today. And again, we know that questions will come up in the future. So we look forward to connecting you. Really, the goal of today was to share information with you about this program and maybe answer some of your questions. But what we would love is really to just connect with you on a more one-on-one basis. Nivea Woodard, our program coordinator for the program, is spectacular in really helping you guiding you throughout the application and decision-making process. So we look forward to hopefully connecting with you on a more one-on-one basis and hopefully seeing you in our classes in January for the new year in 2026. So thank you, everybody. Be well. Bye.